I'm here in the Malabrigo factory, and Antonio has just given me an amazing tour of this entire place. I'm going to show you around quickly. There are some parts that I can't take a picture of, but I'm going to show you everything that I'm able to. So what you just saw, well, we can start from here, but well, actually we'll start from the beginning. I'm going to edit this, right? Of course. But this is the raw yarn, la lana cruda. It hasn't been dyed yet, but this is worsted right here. This is Malabrigo worsted. This is Malabrigo worsted. It's so soft, and basically it gets taken right back here behind this wall, and it's sort of like the raw ingredients, like in a recipe, right? So they have the special recipes for all the different colors. They have little packets of dye that are like in little containers divided up with the different dyes, because each color is like a process. It's like a dish of food. So it's not like one ingredient, but it's like a process. So they go and they take the dyes, and they put each dye has a specific temperature of water and a specific amount of time, he told me. And they put the yarn in and they dye it for the specific amount of time, and then they take it out and they do the next thing. Sometimes they tie knots in the yarn beforehand. You can see that this guy is tying knots in the yarn after he's dyed it like a base of blue. This part I am allowed to show. He's dyed it like a base of blue, and he is putting knots in the yarn to save the blue, and then they're going to add more colors later. So the parts where there are knots, the blue is going to stay and it's not going to take the other dye. Same with that gray right there. See that gray? The gray is where it's knotted, it's going to keep the gray, and they're going to add more colors. There are about 32 employees working at the Malabrigo factory in all. There are 3 teams of people that knot and dye and hang the yarn to dry, and I'm going to take you through the parts that I can show you, and it's going to be amazing. So here we are. It's pretty dark in here, but here we go. This is one of the 3 drying rooms that Malabrigo has to dry the skeins after they've been dyed. They need to dry completely. After they're spun in a centrifuge. I don't know if I can show you that part, I don't think so, but they're spun in a centrifuge and then they're hung in here to dry. And today they're having a problem with the hot water, so all of a sudden there actually isn't that much yarn in here. He says normally that it's like absolutely full. You can see that they've got a few skeins hanging up, like a few runs. I'm not sure what color this is. I know that this one, where we go? Not that one. That looks like pearl or polar morn, doesn't it? This one down here is San Francisco sky, all hanging up to dry, and this all looks like it's worsted. He does say that when they have the yarn ready, they like to do more lots of the same color, like they like to do worsted and chunky. If the yarn comes in worsted and chunky, they'll do worsted and chunky in the same go if they have the yarn ready. That's always, they said they're always waiting on yarn from the mill, from the manufacturers, right? Here's a bunch of rasta. I don't know if you can see it. I'll show you more. There's a whole shopping cart full of rasta, but here's a peek inside the drying room. They're making one more because they're always waiting on yarn to dry, right? And right now it's winter in Uruguay, so it doesn't dry very fast. So they're actually building one more room right now. Through one of the many sort of random scary staircases, and here is outside the factory. You can see it's a really sort of foggy day in the middle of winter in Uruguay, but here's one of the roofs, and they've got solar panels on the roofs to help offset the energy of heating up the water that they need to dye the yarn, right? They need hot water to make sure that the colors will take. Here we got some rooftop scenery. They're on the top of this old factory. I think it was a slaughterhouse actually, but it's some old industrial cheap place where they started out. And actually he let me climb up there before I got some pictures, but up here on the top of this roof they have a bunch of solar panels, and they're going to add down here, they're going to add a windmill to try to capture the wind energy so that they can be just more ecologically friendly, so they don't have to use the heater as much to heat the water. So Antonio is always thinking of sort of new ways to do the yarn, and new ways to use technology and old machines and new machines, anything that he finds to make the process better. Let's go back inside and see the production area. So here we are in one of the main areas where they store all the yarn after it's been dyed and packaged, but this is actually, we're getting ahead of ourselves because Antonio says that the very last step after they dye the yarn is to come over and do quality control, that the yarn is not finished being colored until I do quality control. And I'm going to, ooh, look at this. Oh, should I jump in? This mountain of Rasta. It's like basically being in a candy factory. Let's see. So she is looking at the skeins, making sure that she checks each one for the color, because the skeins vary a lot, right? First she has to check and make sure that the colors came out good, that they look correct. Then she has to group the skeins and group them together so that the ones that are closest in color can be closest together in like the same bag, so that each store gets a bag full of 10 skeins that are similar colors. And this looks like Rios to me, or maybe it's twist. Hola. Te hago una pregunta.
Sí.
¿Cómo se llama esta lana? ¿Es Rios o?
Twist piedras.
Twist. Ah, piedra. Un color famoso, ¿no?
Sí, piedras.
Genial. So this is twist in the piedras color, and she's just putting together the skeins that are most similar. That's the very last step in the quality control. And here there's like today it's a really chill day because of the water heater is out. So there's Anthony, the mastermind behind the colors, the machines, the wools, everything. Ooh, let's take a look at the raw wool. You're gonna love it, but I'm gonna walk you through some of the storage warehouse. We can see protected behind nylon are all the skeins, right? Just so that they don't get any dust. Oops. There we go. So that they don't get any dust. A lot of the skeins go straight into giant packages. You can see the gentleman over there. Like if there's a lot of one color, they go straight into a giant package, right? There's no need to put them on a shelf. So the packages say stuff like USA and Finland. All right, let's take a peek in here where Antonio was showing me. This is another. Hola. ¿Qué tal? This is another warehouse where they keep a lot of stuff, or it's another sort of area in the warehouse. And here, this is special. This table are the sort of leftovers of his experiments. When he dyes new yarn, and he left his like color palettes out for me, so you can see that when he gets new ideas, like he's an architect, right? So he goes to these palettes a lot. Like he's used these a lot when he used to design interiors and stuff like that. And when he wants to change a color, he just sort of goes darker or lighter on the scale. And now you can really see these colors, what they actually look like. Sometimes they don't come out very well in photographs, but these are just. Oh, I have to sneeze. Oh, actually, so these are the new colors of the new line that just came out that he presented at TNNA last month. In June, he brought the new color cards to TNNA with Malabrigo, and he said that just people loved it. So here are some beautiful purples, I think. But these are his experiments, right? Like he was telling me that he didn't like this one. It came out too bright. That one of them came out better. It is hard to capture the colors exactly. And you can see, I'm not sure what yarn this is. I don't know if this is sock or this might just be some yarn that they don't even sell just to experiment on. It looks like maybe it's sock. Yeah, he was telling me that sock is a 3-ply yarn, so this might be sock. So this is sort of the leftovers after he's been experimenting, and I'll tell you more about how he comes up with colors for ideas for colors and how he starts experimenting. But let's take a look at the raw yarn, what they get and where they get it from. So here we are in the sanctuary of raw yarn. I don't know why I feel like I have to whisper, but it's so sacred. So I want to find you what's called tops, what Antonio showed me, and here's some. Oh my goodness, I'm actually in a swimming yarn. Yay! I'm swimming in Malabrigo. Okay, that was totally indulgent. Alright, so this right here is tops. It comes from, here it is right here. It comes from the mill. They source all the yarn, right? all the wool, and I'll tell you all about the wool and how they get such amazing wool. But this right here is how it comes from the mill. Let's get a good look at it there. It's not really yellow like this, but there's no windows in here, so it comes like this from the mill. It's been washed and combed, and it is so soft. So it's merino, it's 100% merino wool, and it's so freaking soft. So this, they take this and they actually ship it out to different spinners and mills in Uruguay and in Peru, because they're using all of the mills in Uruguay and there's still not enough. So they also outsource the spinning to Peru, and basically they spin the yarns to the exact specifications of Antonio's exact specifications. Like, I don't know what there's, it doesn't say this is 100% merino, crude, and you can see, it doesn't say Malabrigo, right? It says Nogalina, because that's actually the name of the business that makes the yarn. And I'm gonna ask him more about the name Malabrigo and where it came from, but I think you can see, yeah, worsted, tons of worsted, and back there, oh my gosh, look at that, there's more back there. So, so this is where it all starts. Then I showed you it gets, oh, and here's chunky, right? I'm gonna take some of that home for sure, for the videos. So it starts here. They said that right now it never looks like, normally it never looks like this. He told me that because they're backed up on the dyeing, because like their hot water thing is broken, they have like just a little bit of hot water. Their like hot water tank is broken, you know, today. Normally this is like never like this, that they're always waiting for yarn, that they always need yarn. So this is a really, normally it's just straight in the pot. So from here, actually, a mis seguidores para. Hey guys, this is Antonio. Here he is. This is like the star of Malabrigo. Oh my goodness. No.
Nice to meet you.
Yay! Very good. So you're just talking, look right there.
Oh.
There you go. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
They can see you. So Antonio has been showing me around his whole factory. It's amazing. We have got like hours and hours of stuff to talk about and not very much time. So I'm gonna chat with him really quick about the yarn I'm gonna get, and we'll be right back.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, so Antonio has just let me into the loose skein room, as he called it, for, you know, for buying yarn for the videos and stuff. So he was like, all right, have at it. What kind of yarn do you want? And I was like, I want chunky for the videos because it looks so good. So here are barrels of loose chunky that aren't for any specific store. They're all divided by color. So greens and oranges and blues and purple. And here's this one. I think this one's gonna look really good in the videos. Bling! And then of course I've got some natural too. So I'm just like, and of course I'm like starving and I've been here forever, so I'm gonna like pick fast so I get back on the boat to get back home. So I'm gonna pick as many yarns as I can for all the ebooks that I like haven't even written in my head yet. We'll see how much this stuff ends up costing me. He says it's less, so yay!
Ahí, esa de abajo, esas.
This woman is so awesome. She's picking out 2 colors for me. I'm gonna make a scarf out of this, and she's picking out 2 skeins for me that are the same, right? Because they're not all the same, even though they're the same dye lot. So these are the ones that she told me Esta, ¿sí?
Esta
Bueno.
fue la que más te había gustado.
Sí.
Ahí está, en base a esta, porque estas están muy
Muy rojas, ¿no?
Muy
Ajá.
rojas, esta está muy clarita
Ajá.
y esto está muy chatito, esto está muy azul.
¿Cómo? ¿Qué quiere decir, chatito?
Ah, yo le digo chatito, porque a Antonio le gusta que tenga estos matices en colores así.
Ah,
Eso no
es
lo
como
tiene.
más regular.
Claro.
Ah,
Está
entiendo,
muy
entiendo.
liso.
Así que me las llevo.
Esas dos.
estas.
Las pongo en una bolsita si querés.
Ah, gracias. A ver, voy a.
Allí está, donde están poniendo la raja.
Now we're heading to the Rasta. He was like, why don't you take some Rasta with you? And I was like, okay. So here we are
¿Por qué
at the
tonos?
Rasta.
¿Por qué tipo de tonos?
Como azules, creo. Qué lindo. So here I'm going to dive into Rasta. We're going to pick something and then we're going to go eat some chivitos.